And now, here is the host of the show, Eddie Crow.
.30 WBVP, 1460 WNBA. We're keeping with the theme. 99.3 FM presented by St. Barnabas, 95.7 FM. It is Teleforum. We're keeping with the theme. The last hour didn't talk about the election. This hour, I'm doubling down. I'm going to talk to you two gentlemen, and I'm still not going to talk about the election. Is that okay? Jim Marshall is my guest, and Rob Matzie is my guest. State reps, Jim, the 14th District, Rob, the 16th District. You guys are cool if I don't talk about anything election from yesterday? Or do you have something stuck in your craw, Jim? You look like you got something going.
I'm good, Eddie. I'm good.
Right.
Good to see you today.
Rob?
No, I'm good. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to come on talk about some other stuff.
We're going to talk about some others. All right, I'm just going to break my own rule. My first question, neither of you were running for anything. How much do you pay attention to it? With yesterday, how much did you pay attention to it?
A lot. I was out in the 14th district. Probably stopped at almost every poll. Talked to people that were voting, and just out. It was a beautiful day. I hope a lot of people were out voting, and I wasn't really looking at a lot of elections statewide, but focusing on the 14th.
Your district,
yes, sir.
Rob, is it the same for you?
Yeah, I was out all day and myself, and really it was interesting because the turnout was so low at the polls. And,
I saw 20-something%.
Yeah, it was just being at the polls. And granted, they haven't started counting the mail-in ballots, which they'll do today in Beaver County. But, just didn't see a whole lot of folks. You stand around a polling place for a while, and you maybe see one or two people. So it was still good to get that opportunity to go out there. But I'm a junkie, so I had my phone going. I had my iPad going. And then after 8 o'clock, refresh, about 20 tabs up from counties all over the state, just trying to find out what's going on.
Did you see the story? I don't even know what the race was, but it's not finished yet. And the lady that will probably win declared at 12:30 last night, "I won." Did you? When do you actually win? Because saying it at 12:30 and having the election people say, "No, we're not done counting yet."
How about next Tuesday when they're certified?
Is that when it is?
Unless it's so big, but
right.
You have the exit polls, and you have folks that make their decisions based on what's transpired during the course of the day, I guess. I know there was a big hot race in the Lehigh Valley in the Senate. Came down to 30 votes, and the challenger beat the longtime incumbent.
30 votes.
And declared winning the seat early this morning. So whether or not that holds up, there may be some provisionals, there may be some other things, so remains to be seen.
All right, enough with the election. I want to talk about something universally positive. Jim, I saw you and our friend Josh Kale. You getting on board. I know he does them a lot, but there's a concealed carry seminar that's coming up. Do you do a lot of those? I know Kale does.
Yes, I have in Butler County and Beaver County. It's usually at the request of a club or it's a request of a municipality. Recently, New Sewickley Township supervisor had asked for one, so we had one out at the Grange. And this upcoming one, the Midland Sportsman Club, has requested that concealed carry event, and I've had 2 or 3 there actually. So it's good to get information out, and we bring the district attorney and sheriff guy there to talk about the issues, and it's very informative.
Is that something that's growing, Rob? Do you get phone calls about that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, is that growing? With gun purchases, are there people calling saying we want to know the rules that we've never had to learn before? Who are the people that want to do these things?
I have to tell you, it's everyone because we give out more books and pamphlets on your rights relative to owning a firearm and what's necessary, et cetera, at our office, like gangbusters, and it's surprising. I mean, really, in the last couple of years, I think we've probably noticed a larger influx of females, quite frankly, jumping in, and really it's all spectrums. It's everyone. I mean, I've had folks talk to me about having events similar to what you're talking about, even in the city of Aliquippa. And a lot of folks say, well, why would the city of Aliquippa? I said, well, they need to know too, and it's about protection, and it's about ensuring that you have that opportunity to protect yourself and your family.
Does it surprise you that it is a spectrum now? Traditionally, that's not really how you think of it, but I've heard that from other people too.
I think it's not as much surprising for folks like Jim and I from where we come from. I think gun culture is different. I mean, and you try and explain it to some of your members in the urban core, and they just can't understand it. It is, people were raised with long arms or raised with the opportunity to have a pistol in their house, and that's just second nature for so many people.
Jim, did you grow up with weapons in the house, or did you? That's a horribly personal question. Did you grow up understanding and recognizing the gun culture that was Western PA?
Every family has at least a long rifle or some type of I wouldn't say weapon, but there's always guns in houses, and if you grow up respecting and understanding them, I think it's important. And most of the folks that I've seen that attend these classes are already gun owners, and most of them already have permits to carry. So they're just trying to get more information and understand the nuances of the law.
Well, let people know the event's coming up. I want to say the 24th. Is that right?
It's next Thursday at Midland Sportsman's Club, and Representative Kale and I will be there together, along with Sheriff Guy and District Attorney Lozier. It's 6 p.m. on the 26th.
On the 26th. At Midland Sports Club, that's an industry. You said something that was in houses, and that brings me to another question. Talk about the infrastructure, and talk about the internet, and talk about stuff that we never knew we needed in our house until we found out, oh, God, I got to get the internet. Both of you are involved in helping Beaver County. Jim, you want to go first?
Absolutely. I mean, clearly we work together, both as chairman of Consumer Affairs Committee. And this issue is important for especially those that have to work from home, that are educating their children at home, even telemedicine. There's so many opportunities to do more remotely or do more from the house, and it's important to have connectivity. And we're thrilled to work with Beaver County on this. And I know Rob's got a lot of details on where we are with Connect Beaver County, and glad to work with them on this important issue.
Are we moving forward? Because traditionally, especially when money gets involved, and we're talking about money from the federal government, at least in part with this, it bogs down. How are we moving forward, getting people hooked up?
Well, it's a pretty big deal, I think, and I'm not sure a lot of people in Beaver County recognize just how big of a deal it is that both Jim and I are the co-chairs. He's the majority chair. I'm the minority chair of the Consumer Affairs Committee.
Democrat and Republican sitting in a room together, not having a fist fight. Yeah, that's a win.
Absolutely,
that's a win.
That part of it, and the fact that we're in a county of 170,000, a little less than 170,000 people, and we're the chairman of a very, very strong committee in Harrisburg. And that doesn't normally happen. I mean, you might get one from a smaller county, but the other one's usually from a larger county because of the importance and really the broad nature of the Consumer Affairs Committee. When people hear Consumer Affairs, they're not even sure what it does. But we really oversee everything that happens with the PUC, the regulatory framework of the
Utility Commission,
utilities, telecommunications, your energy, down the line to consumer issues, consumer affairs issues,
right,
et cetera. So it is a broad committee. It's a very important committee for how government operates as far as the Commonwealth is concerned. But hats off to the county commissioners. They took the initiative to really use federal money to get ahead of the curve before we were able to get anything done in Harrisburg. We worked 5 years to get small cell legislation done. And I've been the chairman now for 2 terms on my side. Jim, this is his first year as the chairman of the committee, but I've been a member of the committee for 14 years, and we've been trying for many, many years to come up with something that made sense. And when this year, with Jim's leadership in the room and helping really get us over the hump, we were able to get something done and brought all stakeholders to the table, from labor to the business community to the municipalities, and come up with some legislation and really got it on paper and finally got it over the finish line.
How do you not get discouraged and just throw your hands up when something that's a good idea, that's a bipartisan good idea, takes years and years to get through? How do you curtail the frustration long enough to stay focused?
Well, what's the old adage about sausage, Jim?
Yeah, you don't want to see it being made, Eddie. So that's kind of the way it is with legislation. And, like Rob said, we work together with the stakeholders. And once you get agreed to language, there's always somebody that wants to tweak it. They have an improvement here. We could do something there. But the challenge is, you can't overlook good legislation in the effort to get perfect. And I think what we did was extremely well done. And, speaking of the county, Beaver County officials, Lance Grable, for instance, had impact on the text of the legislation that we crafted. We worked together with counties, we worked together with providers. It was a good bill that we were able to get through. And as Rob said, we're talking about federal investments and the county stepping in, investing that money, doing it the right way, and it's rural broadband, and it's really important to our areas. Beaver County has some very rural areas. Specifically, there's one area in Darlington Township that the federal government has already located an area on the map, said this area is going to get funded. So the county said, well, we're going to put a pilot program on neighboring area, surrounding area, to try to work that whole region together to get better service.
How difficult was it to get everybody involved and still keep moving forward? Too many cooks spoil the broth.
Difficult.
Yeah.
It was about a 5-year process for the one component, really two components that transpired during this session. One was the bill that I mentioned. It was Jim's bill and my bill. We were the prime sponsors of it. It was the Small Wireless Facilities Deployment Act. That one took us a good 5 years to finally get over the hump and get it all done. The other bill we got done, and it was an amendment that I was able to put in, and we worked together on to get this bill done, and it was a variety of prime sponsors, mostly from the rural parts of our state, and we were kind of guiding the ship as the chairs to get this through, and that's the rural broadband component. If we did not have a development authority, a broadband development authority in place, we would not be eligible to access federal dollars that are coming. And each state's going to get $100 million. But if you did not have a mechanism in place to accept that money and a plan, then you couldn't get that money. Now, once we get that $100 million, by us having a plan, and we believe we have a model legislation for the rest of the country, we work really hard to get this right. And the reality is there's another, $442 billion that's going to be available for broadband deployment.
It's bizarre that $100 million's a drop in the bucket, isn't it?
So if we get that $100 million first, show that we have a plan, and our plan makes sense, being one of the largest states in the country, and the President of the United States being also known as the former 3rd Senator of Pennsylvania, we're hoping we get our fair share and more so we can truly deploy rural broadband. I mean, if there's one thing we learned during the global pandemic is that there is a digital divide, and it really showed itself from an education component, as Jim mentioned, to a workforce component. And we believe we have the tool in place now to accept those dollars, a plan that's in place, staffing up as we speak, that we can be ahead of the curve and really get our fair share.
Right.
And the challenge is the supply chain. I mean, once we get all this done, we need to lay fiber cable, and that could be a year out.
Well, that was my next question. What is the timeline? Obviously, you got all your ducks in a row to handle the financial side of it, which is brilliant. Now talk about timeline, year, 2 years.
It's hard to say how long it could take, and certainly the supply chain has a big impact on that. But as Rob said, the important part is to build the framework, which we've done. And we have the framework. We can bring the dollars in from the federal government and then deploy it.
Was this something the federal government said, we've got this money, but before you can get it, you're going to have to do an outline? Or was this something that you both recognize we need to have stuff in place for when it could show up?
Combination. I mean, we have been talking about this for several years to put together an authority. We thought it made the most sense to physically have a dedicated unit, a dedicated part of the state government. Right now, it'll fall under the Department of Community and Economic Development. But we felt it was very important to have that component. And then when the infrastructure dollars and that bill passed and we knew we were going to get some money for broadband, it just really put us on fast forward to get something done.
Rob Matzie is my guest. Jim Marshall is my guest. State representatives. More after news on Teleforum.
May is typically the start of the busy season. Yes, the weather is nicer, but it also usually means that it's time to start going to weddings, graduations, reunions, vacations, and all kinds of other things. Traveling to those events and buying gifts can be a concern. Thankfully, Falcone's Moon Township Ford can help in two ways. Take the worry out of how to pay for some of those excursions by selling your car to Falcone's Moon Township Ford. In an effort to build up lot inventory for the summer, top dollar cash offers for your current vehicle are being offered right now. On the other hand, getting a better, more dependable car to do all your traveling this season is also something Falcone's Moon Township Ford can help with. Go ahead with making your plans. Let the relatives know that you're on the way. Then click moontownshipford.net or visit Falcone's Moon Township Ford on University Boulevard, located across from Robert Morris University.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Friendly Federal Credit Union, you've got a friend.
If your monthly cash flow has slowed to a trickle, but your needs at this time of the year could use a full stream of cash, Friendly Federal Credit Union has just turned the spigot on for you in the form of their annual Shower of Loans event. This is Cindy Hiladio, and the forecast is calling for showers. Go ahead and get soaked with cash for the things you need, because Friendly Federal Credit Union has a 10-year home equity loan from just 2.75%. Special offers are based on new loan applications and credit approval. In addition, applications for the Carl D. Ross and Anthony S. Payne scholarships are now being accepted through the end of June. Visit the offices in Aliquippa and Babe. It's a place that makes more sense for you. Friendly Federal Credit Union, member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Friendly Federal Credit Union, you got a friend.
Highmark Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Allegheny Health Network are pleased to present a new show on Beaver County Radio called Heroes. Tune in every Saturday at 10 and Sunday at 12:30 for Heroes, a wonderful half-hour segment hosted by Jim Roddy that profiles many of the local heroes in this community. Click highmark.com for more information and then tune in for Heroes this Saturday at 10 and again Sunday at 12:30 on WBVP, WMBA, and 99.3 FM.
Hey, it's time to wake up, Beaver Valley. Hi, this is Pastor David Grove from the Church of the Redeemed of Beaver Valley. After over 2 years on the air, it seems that some of you still cannot get up in time. So I've got good news. Wake Up Beaver Valley is moving to a new time, now airing from 9 to 10 this and every Saturday morning. It's time to wake up and turn our hearts back to the cross of Jesus Christ. So I invite you to wake up early this Saturday. To find out more, it's Wake Up Beaver Valley, Saturdays from 9 until 10 a.m. on Beaver County Radio. God bless you.
United States Deputy Sheriff's Association is a national nonprofit and America's largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. USDSA assists city, county, state, and federal law enforcement agencies through our many varied programs, including free safety equipment donations, free officer survival training, cash donations, and condolence letters to the family of law enforcement officers who perish in the line of duty. USDSA also offers college scholarships for the dependent children of law enforcement, along with a citizen awareness program and thank you cards to law enforcement. These are just some of the ways United States Deputy Sheriff's Association assists America's law enforcement and the citizens they serve. For more information about United States Deputy Sheriff's Association or to see how you can help, visit www.usdeputy.org. United States Deputy Sheriff's Association, taking training to the next level because lives are on the line.
Hey Pirates fans, on Saturday, May 21st at 6:35, come watch the Pirates take on the St. Louis Cardinals. Then stick around after the game for the Sky Blast Fireworks Extravaganza, presented by 84 Lumber. This is no ordinary fireworks show. We're talking twice the fireworks, bigger, brighter, and more dazzling than ever. Gather your family and call your friends because you won't want to miss it. Get your tickets today at pirates.com.
Beaver County Radio's news source, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com. Here's Frank Sparks.
And good morning, as today's forecast is calling for scattered afternoon showers. High is going to be 70 degrees. We'll have a complete Beaver County Radio weather forecast coming up for you right after we have this look at news. With yesterday being the primary election in Beaver County, 24.36% of the registered voters in the county cast a ballot at the poll place, with all precincts reporting a total of 27,395 ballots were cast of the 112,464 registered voters in the county. 21.84% of the registered Democratic voters showed up, and 34.91% of the registered Republicans cast a vote here in the county yesterday. Beaver County Radio News correspondent Sandy Giordano is checking with Beaver County Elections Bureau to see how far along they are with counting the mail-in ballots at this time. Once we have an update for that, we'll let you know. In what was anticipated to be one of the most competitive races for the U.S. Senate here in the state of Pennsylvania, John Fetterman soundly defeated Connor Lamb and Malcolm Kenyatta. Fetterman received 59% of the vote on the Democratic side, along with Connor Lamb receiving 26%. Kenyatta only received 10% of the vote. Then over on the Republican side, still too close to call at this point, Mehmet Oz holds about a 1,600 vote lead right now over Dave McCormick. So once we get those final results for that race as well, we'll let you know. Going to be an interesting race once we get to the fall. In a statement that was released by Joe Calvello, the Director of Communications for Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman, that was received by Beaver County Radio last night, we found out that John Fetterman has completed a successful procedure to implant a pacemaker along with a defibrillator inside his body. The procedure began at 3:15 p.m. yesterday. He has been given the all clear that it was successful. He is resting at the hospital and recovering well. John continues to improve every day, and he is still on track for a full recovery. A lawsuit against Swickley Academy is alleging that 4 teachers were fired from their roles of opposing racial discrimination during a purge of administrators. The lawsuit says the teachers supported Douglas Leak, who filed his own separate lawsuit. He was a black administrator who was replaced by a white woman, although the school said he was let go due to declining enrollment and performance. The lawsuits are the fallout, where the teachers said Swickley Academy tried to get them to forget the past and teach both sides of slavery after a group of parents complained about their kids' curriculum. One teacher claimed she was reprimanded for stirring the pot concerning racial issues, and the school viewed the group of teachers as the ringleaders. The teachers, all they're asking for is to be reinstated to their positions, compensated for lost wages, and for opportunities. The Community College of Beaver County is proud to release 304 names of both full-time and part-time students who achieved either the President's List or the Dean's List honors for the spring 2022 semester. To be named to the President's List, students must have completed at least 12 hours of credit, bearing courses in which performance grades are awarded, and have received a 3.75% grade point average or above for this semester. Dean's List honors must have completed at least 12 hours of credit-bearing courses in which performance grades are awarded and have received a 3.25 to 3.74 grade point average for the semester. Now, you can see the complete list of honorees at our website at beavercountyradio.com. A former choir teacher at Wilmington Area High School is facing criminal charges after court documents say that she had an inappropriate relationship with a student. New Wilmington Police Department says an investigation into 26-year-old Olivia Lewis Orts began after the principal of the school received a call from Orts' husband reporting the alleged relationship. As a mandated reporter, the principal reported the allegation to the police department. Police held interviews with the 17-year-old student involved in the incident, who told officers that they considered Orts to be a safe adult whom they trusted and confided in. The student also said the relationship allegedly turned into a romantic one that resulted in sexual activity. Officers say that Orts communicated with the student outside of school, verbally via cell phone and through text-based messaging. Orts surrendered to police on May the 16th and was committed to the Lawrence County Jail. Her bond was set at $150,000. Her preliminary hearing is set for May the 25th.
Here's the Beaver County forecast on 95.7 and 99.3 FM. Along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
Scattered afternoon showers today with a high of 70 degrees. Overnight tonight, showers and thunderstorms with a low down to 58. Tomorrow, scattered showers and thunderstorms mainly in the morning, otherwise mostly cloudy, then gradually becoming sunny with a high of 80. Friday, mostly sunny, hazy, hot, and humid with a high of 90. Saturday, scattered showers and thunderstorms after 2 p.m. Otherwise, it's going to be partly sunny and hazy and hot and humid. High's also going to be 90 degrees. Then on Sunday, showers likely mainly before 2 p.m. High's going to be 71. Monday, partly sunny and a high of 68 degrees. That is a look at the news for now. I'm Frank Sparks, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, 1230 WBVP, 1460 WNBA, and BeaverCountyRadio.com.
Talk about what's happening in Beaver County or around the world on Teleforum. 724-843-1888. 724-774-1888. It's Teleforum with Eddie Crow.
Just having a conversation while the news was going on with my guest, Jim Marshall, state rep from the 14th District, and Rob Matzie, state representative from the 16th District. And I started by asking you guys, first off, thank you for coming in. I know you're going to have to run here in a minute, but started by asking you guys about paying attention to the election. Neither one of you ran for anything that I heard of, or did I miss that? You didn't count your own votes yesterday. You didn't have to deal with that?
Well, let's just say we didn't have an opponent in the primary.
Okay. What did redistricting do? I'm still trying to sort out. I saw a story, one lady, she ran for office last night. I think she won. She represents a district that she no longer lives in, so she couldn't vote for herself.
Wow.
How confusing is that as a legislator, and how confusing is that to get across to your constituency?
Well, I think a lot of voters are still confused. I got an email late last night and a few texts during the day yesterday. Hey, I didn't see you on the ballot. And I said, well,
was it nice to be missed?
It was.
Yeah.
That was
Similar.
nice. And, there's areas that I won't, I'm not on the ballot. I'll miss those areas for sure. And then there's new areas. One in particular that was in the 16th district and now is the 14th is Economy Borough. Large area, a lot of polls. I found 3 of them on Conway Walrus Road, so was out that neck of the woods, and it's I'm sure it's hard for voters to understand who they're voting for, and it's important that we get that information out. But
does it make you feel good, though, that they actually noticed that there was a difference rather than go in, okay, here's the people, I recognize that name, click, click, click. That had to make you feel like, okay, at least they're engaged enough to notice that there's something different.
It was very nice.
Yeah.
Nice to be known that, hey, I am the state representative in this area, and they know that they've come to my office, or they know that I'm there to listen to their concerns. And so it was great to get those text messages and emails.
And Rob, you're in my neighborhood. You're staying in my neighborhood because I see your office as I go home every single day in Ambridge.
Yes, my district, when I first ran for office, 60% was Beaver County, 40% was Allegheny. And when we did redistricting the last time, I lost a good chunk of my Allegheny County portion. And now with this current redistricting that just occurred, I lost all of my Allegheny County. So Jim and I will have the distinction as we run for re-election and hopefully win, we're running in seats that are entirely in Beaver County. We do not cross county borders any longer, him into Butler, me into Allegheny County.
Was that a weird pitch, county to county, or did people see that as like, well, you represent Beaver County, I live in Allegheny County? Was that a delicate dance you had to do from one speech in one place to the other?
It was more of a challenge in my old district when it was 60-40. It was less of a challenge when it was less because it was Leetsdale and Leet Township, and a lot of folks, they always think they're in Beaver County anyway because they have 724 area code they use in Beaver County Emergency Management System.
That's the back road from Ambridge.
Right. So,
yeah.
So I'm sure those people will still be coming to my office. But I had a similar story that Jim did. I had a friend of mine, his mother lives in the Economy Borough, and we've closed primaries in Pennsylvania, and she's a registered Democrat. And she says, Rob, I got my ballot. You're not on there. Who's this guy running? What's going on?
Who is this guy?
Yeah. And I says, well, she told her daughter that she's not in her 90s. She told her daughter, I'm writing Rob's name in anyway. Well, thank you. And then conversely, I had a call from some Republicans actually in Center Township saying that they were writing me in Center Township. So it's nice to be wanted. Center Township is going to be the biggest change in my district because it instantly becomes the second largest community in my district next to Hopewell. So that's a big deal from a change. And then Jim got Economy Borough from me, and then I also picked up Rochester Township. So I picked up 2 new communities and lost 2 communities.
Do you share information? It's like, okay, you've got Economy Borough now. Here's what I know about Economy Borough.
Always.
Always?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're friends, too. I mean, we want to serve everyone in Beaver County, and we work better by working together than separately.
Is that squinted at sometimes because we're talking about, God help us, a bipartisan approach? Does that cause the occasional, hey, what are What are you doing trying to help that guy out? He's on the other side.
I don't know. What's that you always say, Rob? We're friends 300 and how many days a year?
We're friends all but
we're
friends every day of the year,
right.
but on 2 days of the year we're on different sides.
That's
essentially. So but it is what it is, and I think, as Jim pointed out, I mean, it makes it a challenge. I think more so with volunteers, with people within the party structure that don't necessarily understand or recognize the job that we're doing. They see us as candidates. They see us as Democrats and Republicans and wanting to get us elected, and not necessarily as policymakers, as legislators.
They see you as pieces to a puzzle.
Correct. So when you're counting and you're trying to figure out majorities and minorities, that comes into play more so. But when we're working in Harrisburg, it's not about R&D. It's about what's best for, as I always say, I vote my district first, my region second, and the Commonwealth third in that order. It gets me in trouble sometimes with my party, I'm not going to lie, just because of where I live. I'm one of 8 Democrat incumbents who won in Trump districts.
Mm-hmm.
So that puts me in a different situation. 4 of those 8 are retiring. So now all of a sudden I'm one of 4. And we all obviously have general elections coming up in the fall. So there's a delicate balance there. There's a challenge there. A lot of it surrounds energy. Some of it surrounds guns, and where we stand on those particular issues. But it makes it for a challenge, and you have to really, when you're in a swing district like me,
Mm-hmm.
you got to really pay attention. It's not as easy as just going in and pressing a button. I mean, you have to know what's going on and how it's going to affect your district. And I think it makes me a better legislator.
All right, I've got a question, and it's for both of you. Jim, I'll start with you. How much thicker is your skin now than before you got into politics?
That's the toughest thing for me. It's hard to take the, knives thrown at you. But I think I've done a little bit better. This past couple of years, I've done better at understanding, and Rob and I have talked about that. There's always going to be 20% or more that will vote for their party over the person. I just wish that every voter got out and understood who they're voting for, learned a little bit about them, and understand that the ultimate goal is you're electing somebody that's going to govern at the end of the day. But it's tough. It's tough. Anybody that's in public office, it's challenging to run for office.
Rob?
And I think really we've become so polarized as a society, and I think that's really one-issue voters. They don't care about
my side's good, your side's bad,
and they don't care about the cumulative effect of what you've accomplished during your time in office. They care about how you voted on one particular issue, and we saw the best and worst of a lot of people during the pandemic, quite honestly. And there were
folks were frustrated,
and they were, and rightfully
we understand that,
and rightfully so. And you try and explain to them that I'm with you on this, or I'm not with you on that, and you got to take a safe approach, or you have to really figure this out, because it was all new to all of us,
right?
I mean, but we're in a position where in this representative form of government, making decisions on the facts that are presented to us, and just I'm grateful, and I think majority of the folks believe that they trust us to make the decision that makes sense to them, and you do the best you can dancing through the raindrops.
Well, I want to thank both of you for taking the time. I know you got to get going. Jim Marshall and Rob Matzie have been my guests. Is there anything I should have asked either of you that I didn't? Jim's grinning.
I'm always.
If
grinning.
you're watching this on Facebook, Jim just had a sneaky grin. What did I not ask you? Go ahead.
You're good. You're good, brother.
All
you
right.
got everything. It's just it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and I'm glad to be here with you today.
I am glad to look across from here and see somebody representing each of the parties. That's rare as hen's teeth, seemingly. And I want to say thank you. I appreciate it for both of you.
Thanks, Eddie.
Rob Matzie and Jim Marshall, state representatives, my guest. And you guys will come back. I didn't mess this up, right?
No,
that's great.
All right,
they'll come back sometime. Talk radio too.
I didn't bring up radio one time with former talk show host guy.
Talk history. Talk about the old days.
All right. Next segment, Rob Matzie's going to kick out the jams.
The best of Beaver County is easy to discover. It's right here on your radio. Tune in Beaver County Radio or watch the best of Beaver County live on Facebook or YouTube video this and every Thursday from 11 to 11:30. The program is made possible by St. Barnabas, where For over 3 years now, the show has been dedicated to shining light on the great things going on right here in your neighborhood and the people that are making it happen. This Thursday, enjoy conversation and insight from an intriguing lineup of guests who are creating excitement and having an impact right here in Beaver County. Your friends and neighbors at St. Barnabas are pleased to support the best of Beaver County. The radio broadcast will also be replayed each week from 11:30 to noon on Sundays on Beaver County Radio. Archived Best of Beaver County videos can be viewed on the WBVP WMBA Facebook page. It's your chance to encounter the best of Beaver County with host Mike Romai this Thursday starting at 11. For more information, visit beavercountyradio.com.
United States Deputy Sheriff's Association is a national nonprofit and America's largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. USDSA assists city, county, state, and federal law enforcement agencies through our many varied programs, including free safety equipment donations, free officer survival training, cash donations, and condolence letters to the family of law enforcement officers who perish in the line of duty. USDSA also offers college scholarships for the dependent children of law enforcement, along with a citizen awareness program and thank you cards to law enforcement. These are just some of the ways United States Deputy Sheriff's Association assists America's law enforcement and the citizens they serve. For more information about United States Deputy Sheriff's Association or to see how you can help,